Coming up on today's show, Starfield release date news, Final Fantasy rumors, or new details? Britt will tell us. What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I am one of your hosts, Andrea Renee, joined by the one, the only, the blonde wonder, Brittany Brombacher.
I wasn't sure who you were going to intro, and then I heard blonde, and I was like, all right, I'm on. Hello, hi.
Hi, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
All the things.
Yes, Happy Kwanzaa, Mazel Tov, Happy Hanukkah. There's like 3 more holidays I'm definitely forgetting. Oh, but guess who else is here? Mrs. Riana manuel-pena.
Hello, hello, hello. How do I sound in my new Shure mic?
Girl, it sounds
Buttery.
delicious.
Yes.
Congratulations on your new setup. I saw the photos
Thank you.
online. Everything looks fantastic. How are you feeling in it?
Thank
You still
you.
breaking it in?
It's great. I do still need to decorate, of course. You know how we cozy gamers like to decorate
It
things,
is looking just a little bare back there.
It's a little bare back there, but we'll get it. And in front of me is very exciting because I have all my new gadgets and gizmos, but I'll work on the background, I promise.
It takes time. Sometimes you just gotta, like have a vision, and then you gotta like add in pieces. It's like, as you know, because you're building your home right now. You gotta sometimes just sit in it for a while, and then the vision will come to you.
Yeah. No, I have the first thing I already know, but that's it.
All right, Britt, what do you have in your hand there?
I got to give a shout out because this shit's actually really good. It's Scatterbrain Dark Chocolate Banana Whiskey.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold the phone. Dark chocolate banana whiskey. I thought you were going to say vodka for sure.
No, it's whiskey, and it's actually really good. So every Christmas, Jason and I buy each other way too many minis, and then it overflows and lasts us like the first quarter of the new year. And so I decided to start tackling that stash. And yeah, it's called Dark Chocolate Banana Whiskey, and I gotta say, it's good. It's good.
Wow.
I'm just drinking it straight from the bottle, too.
Huh, fun
Nice.
surprise.
Very nice. Also, in your shot here, I see you have a new piece of artwork.
Majima Peep Daddy. Here we go. Look at that.
I mean, that is so intense. I just I love that your husband gets these things for you because he knows of your fandom.
It does. So for those of you listening, it is Goro Majima of Yakuza, but it's his Goromi outfit where he dresses as a hostess. Except for in this one, he's wearing like lacy panties and a lacy bra. He has his blonde wig on, and he's like pulling like his bra strap down. It's the best thing ever. It's absolutely ridiculous. And like you said, Andrea, shout out to Jason for finding it and getting it for me, having no clue what it even is. He was like, I don't even know if that's actually Majima. And I'm like, it is. You did great. And now it sits next to my Magikarp.
You're two bays. I love it. Well, let's get into the show, shall we? Thank you to this month's Patreon producers, Chewy's Godson, Alex Rigopulos, Faris Attieh, Justin Foshee, and Punkdefied. And welcome to our Patreon community, Steven Summers, Guy on the Stick, and Eric Moden. You can support our show at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. And we appreciate all of our patrons for continuing to help bring our voices to the world of video game podcasts. And we have some new reviewers as well. Brittany.
We have Alex Brand 1 and Erica Preview. Also, it's weird to hear you call me Brittany. I don't know, it just kind of weirds me
Yeah.
out.
I don't know why. I'm in that kind of a vibe today. I'll go back to Britt, don't worry.
I think I feel like I'm kind of in trouble, but I kind of liked it. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, thank you all so much for the kind reviews, obviously, especially over the holidays. We had a nice break, but now we're back, and it gives us that extra little fuel to our fire to get this party started in 2023. Should be a good year.
Absolutely. And today's show is brought to you by ExpressVPN, Honey, and Factor, but we'll tell you more about that later because right now, Riana has an announcement.
I do. So I am very excited to help amplify the messaging that the program called Amplifying New Voices that I'm involved with that takes marginalized developers from across the entire world and sends them to GDC for training on how to develop their profiles, how to market their game, and even gives them a track into doing GDC talks, as well as letting them attend the conference for free. Applications are now open. So for 2023, Amplifying New Voices is sending developers to GDC, that is in San Francisco, March 19th. 2023. So the actual Amplifying New Voices program is on the Sunday. And then anybody who is accepted into the program are free to attend GDC for the rest of the week. And their trip is definitely calmed by Amplifying New Voices. So it's really, really amazing opportunity. If you or any game developers out there have been trying to get to GDC, know somebody who wants to attempt to apply and get into the program, please share this information with them. We are now taking new applicants for this 2023 conference. So the website is amplifyingnewvoices.org. We'll include that in the show notes. And reach out to me, Riana Tweets Now, if you have any questions.
You'll love to see it.
Hell yeah.
Such a fantastic program. So congrats to you guys got that funding. I know every year can be a struggle having to go and fundraise, but it's such an amazing program. So yes, check it out, everybody, amplifyingnewvoices.org. And with that, let's get into the news. Guess what, everybody? Starfield is coming out in 2023. Big surprise, I know. But the news is that they have confirmed, they being Bethesda, that it's on track to release in the first half of 2023. God help us all. So according to GameSpot, 2023 is shaping up to be a big year for Microsoft, as we already knew. And while things can change for now, there's a page on Bethesda Game Studios' website that has a line of text that confirms that Starfield will arrive, quote, exclusively on Xbox Series X and S and PC in the first half of 2023. So what that means, of course, is before June, right? And there was some speculation that maybe May could be a release date, maybe June, maybe April. I don't think we're going to get it before March. I feel like that there would be some kind of a marketing blitz with pre-orders if they actually had a release date like that. But my gosh, if this game comes out in May or June, we are all screwed.
We're screwed anyway. If you guys haven't listened to our most anticipated video, we're already screwed. There's no recovering from the amount of screwing that we're getting. So, you know what? What's one more? What's one more good screw? You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Because as a reminder, there's The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's Diablo 4.
Final Fantasy 16.
Yep. And I thought there was one more big one.
May.
Hades too. But we don't have a date for
Yeah, we
that.
don't have a date for Hades.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
even if
Resident
it was
Evil 4.
just Zelda,
Yeah.
that would be bad.
And
Or
then you
just
throw in
Diablo. So we're just,
Yeah.
it's going to be rough.
Well, last year we had Elden Ring and Horizon right around the same time, and even just like you're saying, just 2 games to take up all of those hours with those open worlds. It's gonna be a push. It's gonna be a big
That's a
push.
nice way of putting it.
Indeed. But it's going to be a great year to be a gamer. Brittany,
God.
it turns out there's some rumors and speculation that you've dropped into the show notes. Would you like to talk about them?
Oh, it's happening. Okay. Okay, excuse me. All right. So just a few days ago, this story broke. Yoshinori Kitase, the producer of Final Fantasy, teased big Final Fantasy announcement is coming in 2023 unrelated to Final Fantasy 7. And so I don't need to read the whole ass quote here. But essentially the one line, again, I'm going to read it as it appears in the little blog post. There's also another big announcement unrelated to Final Fantasy 7 that I can't say anything about yet. And then rest assured, we're working hard to make sure 2023 is the most exciting year yet. It's about Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. But no one cares about Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. All they care about is that line I just mentioned, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, that this is Final Fantasy 9 Remake. I am 100% convinced now. Is it based off actual receipts or fandom? More of the fandom, but I don't care. So I'm going to run down again my loose receipts that I have. And by loose receipts, I mean these are like crumpled pieces of chicken scratch in my back pocket. But we're going to go through them. Okay, let's go back to 2021, which feels like forever ago because it kind of was. So in September 2021, if you remember, there was that NVIDIA leak. Remember that leak that happened where all like hundreds of games were yeah. Okay, well Final Fantasy 9 Remake was one of the games on that list, and NVIDIA did confirm that list was factual and legit. Of course, they did not commit to individual games, but I'm just saying that's on there, and other games that were on that list have since come to fruition, like the Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamer Edition, Kingdom Hearts 4, and Tactics Ogre Reborn. So it's looking real good for that. But then in June 2021, we got the Final Fantasy IX animated series announcement from Kidscreen. This is the one that is based off of the actual game itself and appealing to 8 to 13-year-old children, teenagers, which is like fine, whatever. We haven't seen anything about it in like any major official capacity. It's been officially announced, but we actually haven't seen it yet. But apparently it was shown off last May to IP holders. So we'll see when we actually get to see that. Fingers crossed. And then there's Chocobo GP, that racing game from Square, which unfortunately is now going tits up. But in the reveal trailer, there was a lot of Final Fantasy IX in that trailer. Like, and we never, ever get Final Fantasy IX in any promo marketing materials from Square. That was a big like, scratching my beard. And then in November of 2021, there was an entire ass article written about Final Fantasy IX from one of the main people who worked on it, Kazuhiko Aoki, who said, what did he say? He said, if you're playing Final Fantasy IX for the first time on PlayStation Now and find it fun, then I'd be delighted if you join us and continue to create Final Fantasy IX into the future. Now, sure, that's probably some like random ass translation. You know, language is hard. But the fact that they took Final Fantasy IX just because it came to PlayStation Now and decided to write a whole ass article about it and that little sentence was there, it's happening. You can't convince me otherwise at this point. And I swear to God, if this turns out to be Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered, which is the other potential rumor, I will backflip off this universe and pull in Alexa Ray Korea. But I don't think that's that. I don't think you take a remaster and tease it as another big announcement. I think this is the remake. And when it happens, I hope one of you are with me because I'm going to shit, piss, and barf all at the same time. And it's going to be liquidy.
You know,
Britt,
you say these things like it's an endearing situation for us to be in. But I don't really want to be around that much of your bodily fluid. I'm just going to be frank.
So what? You'll be around your daughter's bodily fluids, but you won't be around mine? You've known me longer,
I am
Andrea.
morally and legally obligated to be around my daughter's fluids. So, yes. I don't, you know.
Oh, it's not going to be endearing. It's going to be awful. But, like, fuck, that's what friends are for. They have to help you with those unfortunate circumstances.
You know, I will always hold your hair back, Britt. You just say the word.
Oh God, I think I can feel it in my loins. I think it's happening. It's happening.
I really want this for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your enthusiasm and passion about this makes me excited for you, and it makes me slightly sad that I don't have that kind of passion for almost anything that I would, eject fluids out of my body.
Oh my God, the places we could go with that, but we won't. Yes, okay, moving on. Oh my God. Yeah, so we also have rumors from Atlas, who has hinted at unannounced new projects for 2023. And this comes from GameSpot. Essentially, Atlas just put out like a, hey, thank you so much for buying our games and supporting our very, very large, successful company. And then at the very end of their statement, they said, in 2023, we will start with the remastered releases of P3P and Persona 3 and Persona 4. And we also are preparing several new unannounced titles. Please look forward to it. Now, the rumor is that Persona 3 Remake is in the works according to multiple people. And this will supposedly feature Persona 5 style graphics and gameplay. So this is very exciting. I'm not as passionate about this as for Final Fantasy IX, but I think this would be really great because I've only played Persona 3, 4, and 5. I haven't tackled like the earlier ones than that, but Persona 3 is, I think, one of the strongest installments in the entire Persona series. But, it is an older game. I think it was on the PlayStation 2, and then it was ported to the PSP. And there's no real definitive version of this game for people to play. You have the interesting Persona 3 Portable on PSP where you can play as a female protagonist. You have different social links. However, your movement is limited to cursor-style movement. You can't actually freely roam the world like you could in the original Persona 3. And I know I'm getting into the weeds, but the TLDR is that both of these games, I feel like, while they feature mostly the same story, but obviously playing as a female protagonist, which you couldn't do in the original one, gives you some different options and whatnot. They need to, combine and make a baby because there's things from both games that are better than the other. So they need to, bang and come up with a Persona 5-esque style game. And I think that's the rumor that most people are excited about. Now, seeing whether or not this actually is announced anytime soon, Who knows? This is just one possibility, but it is a rumor that has me all sorts of hot and bothered because it's a very, very strong game, a very good game. I just think a lot of folks are going to be turned off by how, dare I say, old it is and plays. So that is the Atlas news.
I appreciate you and your ability to take just a shred of something and be like, but let's talk about what it could be.
Oh, man, you gotta keep that hope alive, man. You know?
Yes, that's what
Exciting shit.
we're all about the passion here at What's Good
Yeah.
Games. We love it. We love the
So I just got to
passion.
get you all fluidy.
Listen, we gotta, I think, keep a lid on how many things are going to trigger fluid. So maybe, we figure out which ones
the
are the
definitive-
priorities.
The definitive fluid ranking of What's Good Games. That
Oh my
needs to be.
gosh.
Yikes. I'm just going to let that one slide right by, and we're going to continue on with the show.
See what you did there?
Oh, no. It just keeps
was good.
going.
Waded right into those waters.
But
Yes, Ree. Yes. You fucking rock star. That was so good.
you know
I
what?
couldn't
If you
not do
if you
it.
didn't know where you were, everybody, welcome back. This is What's Good Games, a video games podcast, definitely
For
for
children.
adults and not for children. All right, let's keep talking about some news. But before we do that, I have a word from one of this week's sponsors. Today's episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like walking your dog in public without securing them on a leash. Most of the time, you're probably going to be fine. But what if one day your dog runs away or gets dog-napped? No one wants that. It's better to be careful, especially when it's as simple as using ExpressVPN. Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, your online data is not secured. Any hacker on the same network can gain access to and steal your personal data. But ExpressVPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so they can't. It'd take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. ExpressVPN works on all of your devices too. Phones, laptops, tablets, even your smart TVs. And it's easy to use. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. I mean, just the other day, I was out at the mall shopping for baby clothes like I do, and I needed to connect to the mall's free Wi-Fi to look up some coupons. And I opened up my ExpressVPN app and got connected ASAP to make sure that my login details were secure because, let's be honest, if there was ever a sketchy public Wi-Fi to be on, it's the one at the mall, am I right? Don't let free sketchy Wi-Fi freak you out. Get ExpressVPN and connect stress-free. Get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN free at expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames. That's expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames. expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames. Britt, I feel like you should just be running the news this week because this is another Britney special.
Oh, yes, it is. I mean, this is a good episode to come back to. Yeah, let's get caught up on the Zelda and Switch bullshit we missed during our break because some things happened. Nothing too monumental, but some fun stuff that I feel like we need to be kept privy of. So, first and foremost, the ESR beating. Wow, ESR beating? What the hell? My mind is all sorts of in the gutter. I don't know if it was all that talk we had earlier.
I just thought it was the dark chocolate banana whiskey.
No, I haven't had enough of that. I think this is just rust. Okay. ESRB rating for Tears of the Kingdom has been given. So it has an E10 plus with warnings of fantasy violence and mild suggestive themes. This is the rating that Breath of the Wild got. I know I'm one of those people who always want to see Zelda get a little higher of a rating. Like, let's do a Twilight Princess and give it a T for teen, but that's not happening. That's okay, though. It doesn't necessarily need it, but, I like my dark. I want my Zeldas to be dark, but alas, probably not going to get it too much with this one. Then this was the interesting one, and this is something I would do unfathomable things for if this turns out to be true. The OLED model for Zelda has been supposedly leaked, and this comes from Insider Gaming. So newly leaked images have surfaced online that allegedly show a new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch. The images were first posted to Family Boards and then reposted to Reddit Gaming Leaks and Rumors. It's unclear if the images are real or not, but the images are yet to be DMCA'd by Nintendo, which could confirm their authenticity. It appears the console does not come with the game itself, suggesting that it could release prior to the game's release date on May 12th. So
It's pretty.
it's real pretty, right? And it's the hard thing of, so I'll try to describe it. So the dock itself is white and has like some gold tracings about it. And on the inside, you have the Triforce and the crest in the middle. The Joy-Cons are plated gold, and it has some green little, I don't know, doohickeys
Not
on
actually
it.
plated in gold. To
Not
be clear.
plated gold, sorry. Yeah, this is a very expensive OLED model. I hope you're ready to give up your first
I
one
have
for it.
no doubt that would sell out instantaneously if Nintendo ever decided to make an actual gold-plated set of Joy-Cons that were Zelda themed. Like that would
Dude.
become like probably a huge collector's item. But yeah,
Sadly, this is not that.
No.
I'm sorry. It's really pretty though. I mean, it's gold, not gold plated, and there's green on the left one, like little white spirally things on the right one. I mean, it's just real pretty, and the box does look really looks legit. It looks authentic. Again, though, but people in their Photoshop skills are out of this world in this day and age, so I don't really know. But if this is real, I would really have to. I'd have to struggle. I would struggle. I don't know if I would get it. I'd love to get it, but I already have an OLED Switch, and I don't know. You know, I just don't know if I need it. I don't want to go through the process of transferring everything over again.
yeah. If Switch wasn't, if it wasn't so difficult, like if it was as easy as Xbox makes it to move your profile like between systems, then it wouldn't be so bad. But it is like it's a whole thing you got to do when you move Switches.
I would buy so many more Switches if I could just have one docked on every TV in my house. And I know that's a lazy ass thing to say and do, but it would just make my life so much easier. But no, I'm hauling that bitch up and down the stairs all day, every day, but it's fine. The other little rumor that kind of got people's panties in a little tight twisted bundle was a advertisement that appeared to be Dutch in origin. And on it, I'm not even going to try to read it. It translates to get more out of your Nintendo Switch. And then on the right of that, there is the Nintendo Switch Online logo. And so, of course, people are like, oh my God, is this actually going to have online multiplayer? Is it going to have any online functionality? And I am usually the one who wants to believe and get hyped all the hell. But I think this is just probably an advertisement for future DLC, some cloud saves. It's probably just an ad for the online system itself, which would be required to access those things. So I'm just going to shoot that rumor down real quick and say, like, I don't think there's any online functionality in this game, although I would fucking love it. And then the other and final rumor related to Zelda and the Switch is coming from Games Radar. It's saying that this could be Nintendo Switch's final, quote, significant release. And that is according to two reporters taking to Twitter in recent weeks. Firstly, GamesIndustry.biz reporter Chris Dring responded to a Twitter user revealing that, according to his sources, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom could be followed by a huge gap for Nintendo first-party releases. More recently, VGC's Andy Robinson tweeted that Tears of the Kingdom could well be the final major launch on the Switch. Both reporters allege that Tears of the Kingdom might be followed by a significant gap if there even is another major exclusive released after the new Zelda title after all. And then on Digital Foundry's latest podcast, they mentioned that the Switch Pro was in the works, like a mid-gen refresh, until Nintendo canceled the entire project. And what we'll see next will be the next Nintendo console, and it probably won't be 2023. And their reasoning was, and it's a good reason, that transitions make Nintendo nervous, is the TLDR. And more specifically, if you look at the historic launch of Nintendo's consoles, you have the GameCube, which I loved, but it didn't perform super great. So kind of like a meh. Then you had the Wii, which is a woohoo, did really great. Then you had the Wii U, which was like a huge ass meh. And then you had the Switch, which was like an epic woohoo. And so where do you go from here, right? Do you do a mid-refresh Switch upgrade? And would it make sense? And so I think they were probably being very careful about what they do next with the Switch and trying to figure out how do we make this attractive and make this worth the extra purchase of a brand new console. I mean, this came out in 2017, so we're like 6 years now, going on 6 years into this console. And while I think the functionality of it is amazing and I love my Switch, it's old, doesn't run stuff very well, so there needs to be something that happens here. But what is that, and what does that look like? And that's probably what they're internally talking about. And if these rumors are true, why they scrapped this Switch 4K or whatever the hell they're going to call it. So interesting stuff. We'll see. I would hope that we would get a new Mario game this year. I feel like we're very much due for that. But again, all rumors and speculation at this point.
Well, we got the OLED within the last 2 years, right? So, I mean, not quite a, mid-generation upgrade, but definitely another SKU. And it looks like maybe that's it. Like, that's all we're going to get for the Switch generation in general.
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all were hopeful, for 2023, but there's also, I feel like sometimes these stories come out and they're completely wrong anyway.
True.
That like people are like, we've got all these inside sources and this is the way it's gonna be, and then Nintendo's like, okay, whatever you think, that's absolutely not true whatsoever. And that's why I'm holding out hope that maybe, you never know, there's still a chance.
Oh man, I want to believe, Andrea. I want to believe, but
just keep riding the hope, the get hype that you're on so far today, and hopefully will carry us through. A couple quick in case you missed it. Hitman 3 is being rebranded as The World of Assassination, putting the entire trilogy in one package. They announced it over on a blog post, they being IO Interactive, of course, the developer, and it is going to be available for purchase on January 26th, and Hitman 1 and 2 are being removed from storefronts. So it's interesting that this is happening. I mean, it could just be like marketing, branding. They have plans in the future. It could be IP related. Maybe they're going to transition the Hitman IP to something else. Maybe there's some other kind of legal thing happening. I don't know. But if you're into Hitman, if it changes names suddenly on you, now you know why. And Riana, some news that I think you might find interesting. Cult of the Lamb is getting a major content update this year.
Yeah, so Game Informer reported on the Twitter thread from the Cult of the Lamb account that they have an update that lots of people have been requesting, like different accessibility improvements, quality of life features, and so on and so forth. But the one that was the most interesting to me was that there are going to be new heavy attacks with unique effects and new AoE offensive mechanics. So that's really exciting. I love Cult of the Lamb. Again, as a cozy gamer, somebody who loves decorating and things and tending to my flock, I really enjoy those elements of Cult of the Lamb, but the fighting didn't grab me as hard. And I'm excited to go back and experiment with some different weapons, loadouts, and different fighting mechanics after this update. So I think this is what I needed, at least, to get pulled back in.
I think what I need to know more about this depth that they're talking about, because the combat to me was like fine. Combat didn't really bother me because it was simple, and I was like, I just want to get back to my flock anyway. But the flock, the sim part of it is kind of where I burned out, because I wanted to be able to do more, and I feel like I kind of mastered it, and it was kind of a little repetitive. So if they add more management stuff, I think that could be really interesting too. But all we heard about was the heavy attacks, like Ree mentioned, which look really cool because you get specific like knives that fall from the sky, or axes can be thrown around like a boomerang. Like that sounds fun.
That does.
Nice
and Massive Monster said that's just a tidbit of what they're updating. So maybe you will get some of that depth added.
Yeah, I mean, there's a major content, right, update. So hopefully it's going to be a lot of stuff. I have it on my Switch, and every time I go to open it, like something like pulls me away, and I just can't keep going back to it. So maybe I'll just continue to wait until the content update comes out, and then maybe that'll be a good time to finally dive deep into Cult of the Lamb. But speaking of what we've been playing, it is time to take our break. When we come back, we are going to talk about just that. So stick with us. We'll be back in a moment.
This episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Factor. This new year, you've got goals, and Factor is here to help you achieve each and every one of them. Save time and have the energy you need to tackle everything on your to-do list with Factor's ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Get Factor not only skip the trip to the grocery store, but skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. No matter what your lifestyle, Factor has the meals to help you live it to the fullest with keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and protein plus meals on the menu each week. Prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long. With 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try. Plus, you can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 36 quick bites, smoothies, juices, and more satisfying add-ons. And to be specific, there's more than just 36. 36 plus! Is one of your New Year's resolutions to stop spending so much money on takeout, like mine? Those fees really add up. Not only is Factor cheaper than takeout, but meals are ready quicker than restaurant delivery in just 2 minutes. Eating vegan or veggie is a snap with Factor because each meal is prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. You know that your Factor meal has all the ingredients you want and nothing you don't. But if you're looking to bulk up this winter, you can add a protein to select vegan plus veggie meals each week. Achieve and maintain your goals this year with Factor. Get America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit and start saving time, eating well, and living your best year ever. Head to factor75.com/whatsgood60 and use whatsgood60 to get 60% off of your first box. That's code whatsgood60 at factor75.com/whatsgood60 to get 60% off of your first box.
Today's episode of What's Good Games is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or your computer. Now, I'm not sure what it is, but whenever I score a deal on something that I'm shopping for, the sun feels a little bit brighter, the air is a little bit sweeter, and for a moment, everything feels right in the world. And that feeling gets even better when it's a deal on something that you expected to pay full price for. You know the feeling, the one where you're at the cash register and the person ringing you up tells you the thing you're about to buy is actually on sale? Score, right? Well, thanks to Honey, that feeling comes around a lot more often because Honey makes manually searching for coupon codes a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. So here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites, and when you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons for that site, and if they find one, you'll watch the prices drop. You guys know I love Honey. I've been talking about them a lot on the show, and I just redeemed some of my Honey Gold for a gift card. But I will never not use Honey because I keep getting these awesome deals. For example, I just saved $140 on a piece of furniture I bought online. That is not an inconsequential amount of money. I was shocked, trust me, when I clicked the button. I was like, wait a minute. Is this real? It was too easy, you guys. Honey also doesn't just work on desktops. It works on your iPhone too. All you have to do is activate it on Safari in your phone and save on the go. Now, if you don't already have Honey, you could straight up be missing out on deals. And by getting it, you're going to be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Win-win. Get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/whatsgood. That's joinhoney.com/whatsgood. And don't forget, you can type it into Safari on your phone. joinhoney.com/whatsgood. Welcome back, everybody. It is the second segment of the What's Good Games podcast, where we talk about what we've been playing and any preview events we have been to. And speaking of events, I am going to CES 2023. It is currently underway in Las Vegas. I'm excited to see some new tech stuff, so I'm going to report back on that next week with our special guest. One Paris Lily is going to be on the show. He's very excited, and we're going to talk about some nerdy PC things, so it's going to be fun. But for now, we're going to talk about what we've been playing, and we've all been playing some different things over the break. Brittany, you were playing a redacted game.
I was, yeah. I'll be able to talk about it in a few weeks, but it has consumed my life in a good way.
Ooh,
So
exciting.
that's all I can say about that.
But you also revisited Pathfinder.
I did, yeah. So I think I've talked about this briefly on the show, maybe during one of our old happy hour live streams. But yeah, so over the break, Jason and I were like, what can we do that's like more cooperative and not just staring at screens? And then we remembered Pathfinder, the adventure card game, which is a cooperative, nerdy-ass card game where it's deck building and you work together to essentially defeat the villain and move on with the story. And that sounds really cliche, but it's really fun. There's a lot of strategy in it. It's not necessarily a super easy card game to play, and what I mean by that is it's not like a walk in the park. Once you get the mechanics down of it, like, you're good to go, but you have to be really smart with how you play. And so it's a really fun game to play. You can play by yourself, but I think playing it with someone else, it's just a really good way to connect with someone. And so we're having a really good time doing that. And that's kind of, it's taken over our entire dining room table because, like, these card games take up a lot of space. I need to know, how does one play these games in an organized fashion? If anyone has any tips, please, for the love of God, let me know, because I don't know. It looks like a bomb went off on my table, and I'm very sad about it. But yeah, no, it's just a really fun game, and I'll talk more about it probably in the coming weeks, because I know you two have been playing some fun stuff. And Andrea, I know you just recently got a new gadget for Christmas, and I'm very excited to hear about.
So if y'all follow me on Twitter, you may have seen me post a photo of one of the gifts that Santa brought me. I had mentioned that I had sent him a letter to the North Pole being like, "Dear Santa, can I have a Steam Deck for Christmas? And apparently I made the nice list because I got one.
Yay.
So after hearing so many people, Riana included, talk about how much they love their Steam Deck and how fun it is, I was like, maybe this is the thing that finally gets me to play more PC games, because y'all know I talk about it. I don't enjoy the experience of coming out here and sitting at the production desk because all I think about is work when I'm here, and I'm like, oh, I could be doing this or I could be doing this, and then I don't end up actually playing games out here. So I don't really play a lot of PC games. I'm a console bae. So Steam Deck could hopefully, you know, open the doors for me to return to playing PC games like I did as a child. So of course the thing that everybody says play on Steam Deck is Vampire Survivors.
Yes.
You know, Riana talked about it extensively last year. So I've been playing Vampire Survivors.
Yay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I almost rage quit and abandoned it.
That's what I did.
Was like, this game is dumb. I can't get past like the 11-minute mark, and it's stupid. And how are people succeeding at this game? And so, for people who are not familiar but have maybe heard of people talking about the Vampire Survivors, it is a survival game that is very much in the vein of a bullet hell, in the sense that you have a tiny pixel character on screen and it's all 2D. And the only mechanic in the game is movement. Like, you don't fire your weapons, you don't trigger health potions, nothing. You literally just move your character around the screen in a very traditional bullet hell sense. And when I say bullet hell, I mean everything that touches you on screen kills you or damages you. There is no way to fight back manually. It's all automatically triggered. So there's a variety of characters that you can unlock through grinding, and the grind comes into the roguelike part of the game. And generally, if the tag roguelike is on a PC game in Steam in the storefront, I glide right on by. That ain't for me, I say. It is not for me. But, you know, after hearing everybody talk so highly of the game, I really wanted to try it. And I did download it on Xbox Game Pass because it is available there as well if people are interested in trying it on console. And I just never got around to actually booting it up because every time I turn on my Xbox, y'all know what I'd be doing. Going to mine for some iron ore in Dreamlight Valley.
You have a problem.
I do. But I got so many of the cute holiday outfits. We'll pin that for now. Anyway, okay, so let me get back to Vampire Survivors. So I know we talked about the game, but I just wanted to go over that because I think where I was struggling with this was that I clearly was getting frustrated because at the 10-minute mark, a boss wave is triggered. And then at the 11-minute mark, there's this giant horde that is triggered. And I just could not, for the life of me, figure out what upgrades I needed or how to escape it. And I hadn't gotten far enough along in the game where I could do any master unlocks. And I was just failing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the internet and look up a Vampire Survivors beginner's guide. Just do the thing and figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I got frustrated in that process as well because there's the first guides that kept coming up made it seem like they were tailored at people who had just picked up the game, but they really weren't helpful at all. They kept talking about late game stuff or maps that I hadn't even unlocked yet, evolutions of weapons. And I was like, what are you talking about, weapon evolutions? What the heck are those? So I had no idea, and I just felt really frustrated. And I know that part of the experience of a roguelike is that you have to learn by dying, which is one of the reasons why I don't really like them. I don't like to die. But I just felt like I couldn't grind enough because I wasn't getting further or far enough into each level to earn enough coins to actually unlock some of the kind of master stats. So you earn gold in each run that you do. And then you can take that gold back to the main menu and you can buff certain stats like your damage output, your health, your weapon cooldown, etc. Right? There's a bunch of stats you can buff. And then those will carry over each time you do a run. And I just kind of hit this wall that I'm guessing everybody who's played Vampire Survivors hit. And then all it takes is just one time for it to like click. And so I just kept failing at like between level 11 and level 13. I just could not get past this wave. And then then I decided to unlock a different character. I was like, I'm going to just save all my coins from these little baby runs that I'm doing and I unlocked Gennaro. And this character, their starting buff is that any projectile weapon you unlock automatically gets 2 projectiles at the beginning. And I was like, okay, I like projectile weapons. Sounds fun. And I don't know what it was, but I just got a good RNG run because as you progress and level up your character, you get a menu of items to select from. It's from 3 to 4 items. So you kill enemies. You have a base weapon when you start. And then you kill an enemy. And then they drop little experience gems, and you have to pick them up. And then as you pick them up, you level up. Each time you level up, it's like, do you want to buff the starting weapon, this new weapon, or do you want to get a passive buff? And what those things are is random. And sometimes you get a really good RNG roll of the things that you get offered, and sometimes you really don't. And so it's like you're going to have a good run or a bad run. And I just think I got a bunch of good RNG. And I also decided to spec luck finally. And that, I think, also helped. And I finally did like a full 30-minute clear. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get why people like this game. I mean, it is very addictive in a way that is both troubling for me, but also great because it's a 30-minute cap. Meaning at 30 minutes, no matter what level you are, you die. Like this character death arrives on screens and you just insta die. And I think that's great for me because it means that I can really do short runs if I want to and just grind out a little gold, or if I want to try to make it to the end. My total playtime is only going to be about a half an hour. So you can do short sessions with it if you want to. And it's just so simple to get into because the mechanics are very easy, and it's so accessible in that way because all you need to do is be able to have a single way to move your character around. You don't have to trigger literally anything else, and it's wild.
Question for the class.
Yes.
So if you die after 30 minutes, what compels you to play again?
To unlock new maps. So after I made it to the end of the first map, then voila, the new maps unlocked. And I was like, these are the maps people are talking about. So I think what compels you to keep playing is finding new secrets, finding new unlocks, because there's lots of different weapons and unlocks in the game. And the weapon evolutions mean like they get more and more powerful. And I think ultimately it's challenging yourself to get as high of a level ranking as you can to open your collection. And basically like the standard like checkbox things that gamers like to do as far as progression goes inside of a game. But why? What compels you to keep playing? It's fun. It's fun in a way that I wasn't expecting because I used to really love bullet hells when I was younger because they, started on PC games and it was one of the biggest PC categories like back in the day. But I just got really frustrated with them as gaming technology progressed because it felt like the mechanics were so simplified that I was looking for a more in-depth and dynamic experience. And obviously 3D adventure games and 3D games in general really changed the way that people innovated with game design. And bullet hells, are by nature 2D. I actually don't think I've ever seen a 3D bullet hell. That seems like it'd be really scary and really difficult. But if one exists, I feel like I should research that and find that out. But I don't really play a lot of 2D, especially pixel art style games. I have mentioned that before that that aesthetic is just not something that blows my skirt up. But I could not resist because so many people kept talking about how great this game was. And it is really fun to play on SteamDeck. And that big old screen is so nice. I mean, it is heavier than I'd like it to be. And you're right, Riana. It does get really hot, as you play. But I get it now, girl. I get it. Yes, yes.
You two are basically the same person now. Your SteamDecks and your Vampire Survivors shit.
I'm glad you gave it a shot. And pushing past the 11-minute mark, I understand that grind. It is daunting, but so worth it. Especially if you have any kind of ticking the checkboxes impulse or that, completionist gene. It is so satisfying.
Well, you can just jump right into a new game so quickly. You don't really have to think too much about where you're min-maxing points because there's not like a giant skill tree, and it's really clear that the game wants you to spend your coins in certain areas versus others because some of them are just wildly expensive and are clearly designed for like end game play versus, hey, I'm just starting out. And this game makes no qualms about it being like all aggression all the time. And every guide that I read was like, don't even bother trying to be defensive. This is not a defensive game. You must spec everything into DPS. You must be as powerful as possible if you want to take down the late game waves. You'll never make it to the 30-minute mark if you like spec passive health booths. You have to spec all damage all the time, which is why I think, Brittany, you might enjoy this game.
Yeah, I tried it and I rage quit after because I died many times and then I wasn't getting gold and I was like, I can't progress, and then I just lost all interest. But granted, I was playing on my phone, and I've heard that's not the best way to play
it is harder on the phone to control, I will say.
That's a good excuse for me, thank you. Because I was like, am I the only one who's this bad at this game? But
well, I also read in some of the guides because I've read quite a few guides, looking for some answers as to why I was failing, and. A lot of the guides that I read also mentioned that even on PC, this game is much better with a gamepad or a controller, and that if you are going to play on PC, they recommend using WASD versus using the arrow keys. And I can absolutely see like why that would make it easier. But I mean, this is like having a joystick or thumbsticks makes this game like so much better in a variety of ways. So maybe if you're feeling frisky or froggy, as you like to say, you open up your Game Pass tab next time you log into your Xbox and download it on your Xbox and give it a whirl there, knowing that you just spec all damage into only like 2 or 3 weapons. You're gonna get real excited about all the cool, fun weapons that the game's gonna be like. Want this, want this, want this. And my first, like, I think hours worth of runs, I was like, I want to try all the weapons. And then the guides were like, nay, you will fail if you do that. You'll never get one weapon high enough level. And so I took those tips and I found a lot more success.
Okay, face tank all the time with one weapon. Got it.
Yeah.
That's my whole life pretty much already.
But yeah, so it's been really fun, and I downloaded a bunch of other stuff on SteamDeck to hopefully to check out over time, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with it this year as more games get optimized for that incredible device. And I don't need to go into all of my shenanigans in Dreamlight Valley. Just been making wedding cakes for Ariel and
my God.
crafting snowmen for Anna, all kinds of fun, ridiculous things. That game. Riana, it looks like you have also been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley on your Steam Deck.
I have. So I finally installed it on my Steam Deck and booted it up over the holiday break, and I've only spent, I want to say maybe like 3-4-ish hours in it, and it's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna play it all the time.
One of us.
It's a really satisfying loop. The characters are just as charming as they always are in any other Disney property, and I can't wait to meet more of them. I did unlock Remy as soon as possible. I remember that tip from everybody who commented on previous coverage we've done on the channel. So thank you for that guide. And it's great. Nothing else to report there. It's a wonderful game.
Thank you to John Drake and the team at Disney and Gameloft for making it.
Thank you. Appreciated it. Also on the Steam Deck, which was connected to the TV, I've been playing Jackbox Party Pack 9.
Oh.
So
fun.
I finally got to boot this one up. Yeah, I was really excited for it. So over the break, my husband, his sister, and his niece and I all played every single game in Jackbox Party Pack 9. So I can give a quick little breakdown of each one.
What's your favorite?
My thoughts on it and what ones I would recommend, what ones I wouldn't.
Yes. I want to know what your favorite is at the top.
Okay, so there's 5. Oh. I'll just name them really quickly and then tell you my favorite. There's Fibbage 4, the 4th Fibbage game. Quicksort, Junktopia, Nonsensory, and Rumours. And of all of those, it's an easy answer to say Fibbage 4, but it's definitely my favorite. If you played Fibbage before or any sort of game in the Jackbox lineup, it's a bluffing game where they give you a prompt. Everybody fills in an answer and tries to fool each other by giving one that's either really funny or really convincing. And if you guess the right answer, then you get points. If you fool other people, you also get points. So it's The formula is just as strong as it's always been. It's a really good take on the tried and true formula. They do have a twist this time around where you can pre-fill the prompts with things about the people in the room, which is kind of a neat little addition. But yeah, Fibbage, it's fantastic. It's for 2 to 8 players. I think you can have up to like 100 people in the audience. And really quickly, a couple notes about the party pack in general. They've approached this game with so much self-awareness about how people consume it. There's family-friendly mode, so if you're playing with, you know, your husband's niece, for instance, you can switch off profanity. You can put it into streamer mode so that it's longer, elongated timers for people to answer things. It gives the audience more interaction time as well. And they have different flips that you can switch to say, like, only a certain number of people are allowed in the audience, or, you know, like different things that you can do to make the experience more appropriate for the way you're playing it. So if you're playing it at home with a bunch of friends, or if you're playing it in quote unquote public online, they make it very approachable. So really appreciate that. And it's incredibly customizable. I just want to say that. So they'll let you put captions, live captions on everything that is in the video prompts within the game, things like that. And just, again, to make it more accessible. But if we're talking about favorites, my second favorite, I have to mention this one. It's called Rumours, and it's literally like playing an episode of The Circle. Like, it's a
Go on.
it's a reality
right.
TV game.
I've been watching the new season, by the way. We have to talk about it later.
Oh my gosh, yes, please. So I'll read the description they have on their site. So it says, channel your inner reality TV star in an attempt to come out on top. Respond to prompts, bring the competition, and role play to avoid being voted out. Never fear, though, even when you're out, you'll find yourself rumoring right back into the drama. And what it does is it gives you a prompt to say, hey, what's your name? What's your roommate name? You can put your own name. So, like, for instance, my husband put Danny. And then after he was voted out, another roommate came in that looked exactly like the character he picked with the hat on it. And it said Denny instead of Danny.
Oh.
And he comes back and he keeps playing as if he was someone new. So it's really, really cute. It plays on all of our favorite reality TV tropes, like, you know, trying to play into your personality, or, you know, voting someone out because, you know, you didn't like the way they voted in the last round. And it's a lot of fun. It really kind of puts you into that driver's seat of all of the shows we like watching. So that was a really fun one. I also really liked Quicksort and Junktopia. Quicksort, it's more just like trivia based game, like what order are things supposed to go in. It's really approachable, very easy to understand, a nice beginner's game. And then Junktopia is really creative. You get to basically pitch a sales pitch for this piece of junk that you haggle for, and try to get it to be bought and appraised for as much as possible. So they give the opportunity to present, and you can go up and say, this is my rare find, and here's its backstory. And it gives you a lot of improv prompts, and it's a lot of fun. So this is a really good party pack. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you plan on playing it on stream, but 100% if you want to play these games in person with a close group of friends. I think this may be the best party pack for that, and maybe less so tailored to strangers.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, we're big fans of Jackbox games. We play them all the time on stream and play them a lot in our anniversary streams and happy hour Q&As and things like that. I think it's so interesting you mentioned that these games feel tailored to knowing the people that you're playing with versus others, because some of the previous games, like one of the favorites that we've played on stream, the TKO game with the t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Where you create like a t-shirt slogan, but then it's mixed up with artwork that somebody else has made and they get mashed up. I always think that that's a really fun one because you never know what you're going to get, but you don't necessarily need to know who you're playing against in order to be successful, because so much of it is also random. Like, you have to come up with a clever prompt, but you never know what the artwork's going to look like. So I love how, you know, they kind of mix and match, you know, games that work in multiple settings, but sometimes the ones that are more tailored to the people you know end up being more fun because it can be, you know, more personal.
Yeah, there's some fun inside joke moments for sure. Like when we were playing Junktopia, for those who don't know, my husband's Dominican. One of the traditions he does every New Year's is he takes a piece of luggage and he walks around the block, and that's to give him good luck traveling for the rest of the year. And his niece picked a junk item that was literally like a toy of a little old man with a piece of luggage, and she named it Danny on New Year's Eve. And so like just that little inside joke, she automatically won that round. Like we all just loved it. It was so creative and funny and spot on. So it's just an example of how like it can be a lot more fun if you do have those personal connections. But obviously all of the games are still approachable for a group of people or strangers or even, you know, friends on the internet.
I love it. Well, thank you to the team at Jackbox for making that game and sending over codes. And I think that's going to do it for us for this week. We are looking forward to, like I mentioned, having Paris on the show next week, and hopefully we will hear more about what Brittany's playing. It's not next week; it's later than next week.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks away.
Redacted.
Oh, dang. Okay. Keep your secrets.
I will.
Insert GIF here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, enjoying the show, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.